Here are my predictions for sales best practices in 2025, based on my oversight of hundreds of sales organizations, but also a roundtable I was at earlier this week with some chief revenue officers. Sales efficiency should be your focus. Sales pipeline generated per rep hour is the ultimate KPI that's beloved by private equity, by the way. Full AI SDR as a service, that burns bridges at scale, and we're going to see more of that, unfortunately, in 2025. It burns bridges far more than it builds them. We are going to see on the SDR front a rise in SDR professionalism and maturity. The role's not going to be seen as a first job or entry point, merely a stepping stone to an AE role. It's going to be seen as a valid career path in itself. We're actually going to see less SDRs roles being available because each SDR is going to be a higher quality SDR and they're going to need to be tech empowered. We're going to see SDR super soldiers. I wouldn't be surprised if they're being paid considerably more than a recent AE hire. Speaking of AEs, all account executives, sales directors, individual contributors, they can't just be closers. There should be a KPI for outbound calling. An obligation to self-generate pipeline. If you expect more than 40% of your new business to come from inbound or partner channels or your SDRs, you're lying to yourself as an account executive. And there's a 90% correlation to you missing your target in 2024 that's likely to continue in 2025. If your salespeople, be they SDRs or account executives, don't outbound call, there's an 85% likelihood they will miss their target. Channel diversification, by the way, that is a massive strategic blunder. It's the dilution of your efforts. It's a dilution of your limited time and resource. To moneyball your go-to-market effectiveness, outbound calling is the way. It remains the best, most effective way in B2B sales to generate revenue. But buyer beware, by the way. AI dialers, that seems like the obvious way to weaponize outbound calling. AI dialers are going to become even more disappointing in 2025 as robocall killer apps further reduce the actual effectiveness of AI dialers and power dialers and things like that. And by the way, in 2024, 65% of companies that have AI dialers still missed their targets, despite having that seemingly silver bullet tool. AI dialers really are terribly overrated. I have a better solution, happy to share that with people if you're interested. One thing I'd love to see stopping, which I'm afraid I don't think is going to stop in 2025, sellers, you've got to stop training your AI replacement. You're digging your own grave, that's all you're actually doing. The way to do that, to make your sales career future-proof, is to focus on human-to-human conversations, having the real conversations that matter, really being a service to your buying community. The reason I say that is that's the only way to build trust. Trust is the ultimate currency in sales effectiveness, and no one really seems to be talking about that. AI has completely reduced the trust in the profession of selling, and to be honest, we weren't that trustworthy or trusted to begin with. So I